So ESO, as you guys all know, as I'm sure a lot of you have played, we launched in 2014 on PC and then 2015 on console. And we've been talking a lot over the last 6 months or so in different interviews and at shows about the transition that we made in the game and kind of addressing problems that came up that then led to a really successful console launch and really are leading into Morrowind. So I'm going to touch on some of the highlights of this. If you remember back, it's believe it or not, it's 2.5 almost 3 years ago when we launched on PC. We had some problems that we had to address in ESO. We were on PC Mac only. A lot of players really thought that the game lacked an Elder Scrolls feel, not enough open world systems, just really didn't feel like an Elder Scrolls game. Reviews were average. We were subscription based only back then, and we had no virtual currency. So what we did is we sat down as a team and addressed where the game was. This is in the summer after we launched, where the game was, things we could add to the game, things we could take away from the game, in order to make sure that we addressed these issues. So over that next year, we did a lot of updates to the game. We added a whole bunch of new systems. We changed our monetization system. So I'm going to go over just a few of them just to refresh your memory. One major thing that we did is we added what we call the justice system, so you could play as a thief-type character. This was the first system in the game that was not quest-based content. So it was PvE, but you could just go steal stuff, fence it, sell it, kill most NPCs, get a bounty, avoid the guards. It was a whole mini game in itself, and it just led to a more kind of Skyrim Oblivion feeling experience. We also added the champion system, and the champion system took our leveling system and made it a lot more forgiving. At the time, we had this thing called the veteran system, which was on top of level 50, and it was considered by especially the hardcore players of the game to be much too grindy. It just didn't feel good at high levels. So we had the champion system, which kind of took off from the Skyrim skill system, where you could put points directly into the things that you wanted your character to do instead of grinding through a whole lot of levels. We took away the required subscription, added the Crown Store, which was customization and convenience items. So we had pets and mounts, and of course some buffs. The concept here for the Crown Store was make sure it's not pay to win, put things in the store that make your character look cool, make you differentiate yourself from other players so that you can feel good about your character, and get some minor buffs in the game that were almost as good as, but not quite as good as the ones that player crafters could make. So we did those things, and we relaunched the game in March of 2015 as Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited. We dropped the required subscription, and we rebranded. Just to show what happened, this is before console launch, and we had a lot of players in the game at that point, and that had bought the game, that had subscribed and then stopped subscribing. So the day that we relaunched as Tamriel Unlimited, on the 17th, on the 18th, we had 3 times the number of players on our servers that we had on the 17th. So these weren't new players. These were players who had played at launch, stopped subscribing, and then came back to play because the subscription wasn't required anymore. So we knew we were onto something. And it's interesting, throughout the entire process from PC launch to this point, there was a hardcore group of players in the game that played almost every day. And we did a lot of looking at how they played, what they were doing, what they liked, what they didn't like. And we used those players as kind of our internal metric on how we were doing. So as part of this, we changed our business model, and we made it so we had a subscription, a membership called ESO Plus, but it wasn't required. So you could pay by the month if you wanted, or you could just buy things that you wanted in the Crown Store. The important things with ESO Plus are optional. You get virtual currency each month, in-game perks like expanded inventory, and just goes to show that players really wanted to be given the choice whether they wanted to play or not. This has been very successful for us since we added it. Basically, people can subscribe and have memberships for the months that they want, but they don't feel obligated to do it for forever. So we launched Tamriel Unlimited, and we had a very funny name for the update that came with it, which was called Update 6, if you remember that. We released a video at that time describing what we had done to the game since launch. It includes everything that I've talked about, and then you're going to see in the video a lot of things that you forgot that we did if you were covering the game back then. So we released this just as a way of showing everyone, hey, the game's changed, here's what we've done, and we're relaunching as Tamriel Unlimited. So here, I'll refresh your memories and show that. So looking back on it, yeah, we did a lot of stuff. We did armor dyeing, we did a lot of guild management stuff, we did guild tabards. You saw it all in the video. So the whole point of that year of getting things ready was, of course, leading into console launch. And console launch for ESO was huge, as I'm sure most of you were aware. We had so many players that our servers melted the moment that it came online. We had to scramble to get more capacity. It was a really, really big moment for us. To give you guys an idea, we had about 350,000 people playing the game concurrently at the same time across North America, EU, and EU servers. We had about another 120,000 that were in queues trying to get on. So we had almost 500,000 people playing the game concurrently at that time. So it was just a huge launch. This is kind of when the turnaround really started, and people started to take notice of ESO, and the console launch was and the PR and the marketing around that was a big reason why people noticed that we had done all this work in the year leading up to it, and and things just started to turn around there and get really, really good. So after console launch, we embarked on the DLC and update plan, and we launched the Imperial City DLC, which was a PvP, PvE DLC. We launched Orsinium after that, the Orsinium DLC, which I think up until we launched Morrowind is really kind of the highlight and the high mark of our quest, story writing, exploration. Orsinium is awesome if you haven't played it. It also led into what I'm going to talk about in a second, into One Tamriel, because it had level balancing in it, so it didn't matter what level you are. When you went to play Orsinium, it just automatically level balanced you and you could play with your friends. And players loved that, and the feedback from that actually led us into doing One Tamriel. So after Orsinium, we did, of course, Thieves Guild Dark Brotherhood. Dark Brotherhood took you back into into a nostalgic moment, taking you back to the Gold Coast of Cyrodiil in Anvil and Kvatch. Both of the DLCs had cool quest systems that gave you quests that took you back to the old part of the game. The Thieves Guild to steal items from NPCs, and the Dark Brotherhood, of course, to kill them. So the nostalgia for the Gold Coast actually was good, because it showed us that doing something like Morrowind would be very well received, because players love going back in ESO to areas that they saw in other Elder Scrolls games and seeing what the world was like then. After that, we launched in Japan. That's a guy at the Tokyo Game Show playing the game on 5 monitors. I don't know why, but it looks pretty cool. We launched on Steam, which got us a whole load of new players from territories where Steam is very popular. And after that, we launched Shadows of the Hist, which was a dungeon-based DLC, and we did a whole bunch of character customization things in the Crown Store, so you can make your character look cool. And those led into One Tamriel. And One Tamriel was the highlight of 2016. It's where we took all of the learnings that we had done really since we launched on PC and made the game level balanced, so that it didn't matter what level you were. You could go anywhere you wanted. Monsters would automatically be leveled to you. You could group with anyone. We dropped alliance restrictions. So we made it so you were playing the game like you did in Skyrim Oblivion. You weren't trapped in a certain region before you finish and then move to another region. Now you can literally just go anywhere you want, group with whoever you want. So we changed the way that we did content. Every zone has a mix of content now. So it has quest content, group bosses, usually dark anchors, public dungeons. So a mix for people that like to play solo, for people that like to group, for people that just like to do world events like dark anchors. Every zone has something for them to do. And really what One Tamriel did is it started us, cemented the fact that we are a modern console game. Like, players love to just jump into games and play them. We had a lot of trappings of old MMO systems that we launched with on PC that were great for hardcore MMO players, but they weren't really what modern gamers like, which is jump in, be able to do what they want to do, and then find the complexity in the more hardcore systems as they play. So our PvP system is still there, our trial and veteran dungeon system is still there, but you make the choice if you want to go in and do those hardcore systems. If you just want to play casually with your friends, you can just log on and play with whoever you want. And that is the magic of One Tamriel. So as every December, all the Bethesda studios get together at headquarters and we have a town hall meeting. I wanted our team to make a video of what we had done over the course of 2016 to kind of show off to the company that we had done all this great DLC and we had led up to One Tamriel. So I showed this video that I'm about to show you. We're not releasing it publicly. It's a little off-brand. It's got different kind of music. It's got some colorful words, as you'll see, but it shows really kind of the heart of the game as it stood 2 or 3 months ago as I showed it to the company. So enjoy. So a great way to kind of cap off 2016, and really with One Tamriel, that was what we consider the end of the launch phase of the game. So that's really like, here's the game, it's doing great, we got a lot of good DLC, we got a lot of good features. With One Tamriel, we changed the way that people play. That is the game then, and now I'm going to talk about what's coming next.